Good morning, everybody. Renee here with Luminous Cosmetics, walking you through everything you need to know about getting started with your airbrush system. And today we're going to talk about eyebrows. All right. So if you are new to our channel, go ahead and subscribe and turn on those notifications. You don't want to miss a thing. We have a ton of fun here. We're going to walk through that getting started kit with your blush, your 2 foundations, and a product called Love. So we're going to do that as well. And we are going to focus on those eyebrows today. But before we get started on brows, we do want to walk through exactly what you need to do to get started with your airbrush system. And this is an amazing tool. You're probably like, what are you talking about? It's just a piece of paper. This is an amazing tool to help you achieve these amazing results here. And we want to, we want to start by getting that stylus moving. This is your stylus. We're going to walk through that. You always want to keep that moving. You want to stay 4 fingers from your skin, and then you want to barely pull back on the trigger. So we're going to talk about each of those things really quickly. We're going to hold on to our stylus just like a pen here. Inside here goes any of our airbrush foundations, our blushes, everything goes right inside there. And when you're ready, you want to pull that trigger just a tiny bit. Now you can pull it all the way back, but we like to reserve that just for when you're cleaning. So just a littlest bit will allow that product to come out. Good morning, Candy. Welcome. So let's get started with doing just a few of those steps. I'm going to shake up my foundation. I'm going to use the Mystic foundation, and I'm going to mix together 3 and 4 in the Mystic foundation. And our Mystic foundation is our most full coverage. I'm going to use just a little bit more than I normally would because I'm going to use it as a demo as well. I'm going to bubble that up. That's going to mix everything in together and make it nice and blended. So I just made a custom foundation in 3 seconds, if that. So let's go ahead and try those few steps we said. Now you will feel air coming out of your stylus as soon as you get started. And then you're actually going to, oh, my stylus has been in a mood recently. Let me check this really quick. I don't know what's going on with it, guys. All right. Well, let's get started. And what you can do on your paper is you can try out your stylus and see what comes out of it, because sometimes that's harder to do when you're on your face. So we can try that, get that airbrush makeup flowing. And really start getting that coverage that we're looking for. All right, so we are getting that beautiful even coverage there with our foundation. So this is how you can get started airbrushing just the second you get your makeup. That's the beauty of airbrushing. So what we also can do is, oh, sorry, I'm trying to get a little water here for my system. There we go. So what we can also do is talk about getting your makeup, just talking about the difference of airbrushing and traditional makeup. Now, here's the deal. Your traditional makeup is going to be slightly different. You're used to touching your skin. You're used to touching your face. You're used to blending everything in. Now, your foundation and your makeup is going to be very different in that respect because you are not touching your skin. You are just, oh, let me wipe that off. You're not touching your skin. You're just gently applying that makeup all over the face. Now, you're not going to see a blotch of makeup and then rub it in. You're used to doing that with traditional makeup, putting it on, rubbing it in, trying to figure out how to blend it in, make sure there's no lines. Well, with the airbrush system, it does that for you. All right, so we've got a great coverage going on. I wanted to do just a light coverage today because I want to just have something that I can use for my Zoom meetings. I just want to feel a little bit more fresh. I don't necessarily want to have a lot of makeup on. So loving the options with airbrush, so you don't have to go into full coverage makeup every time you want to put some makeup on. Love that. Love that option. So this is our, this is our blush in Tulip. And as you can see, we have to shake that up. When you want to shake up your product is because there's a lot of mineral pigments in there that are giving us that color. So we have to shake it up to make sure that we have even distribution of all of that color into our formula. And we've got our beautiful blush color. Now that was Tulip, just a little bit of that light pinky color giving us our tones here. Now we're just gonna wrap that up with, good morning, Patty, good morning. Now we're just gonna wrap that up with a little bit of our love, and all we need is love. We're gonna do that before we get into our brows. Now we're gonna go into a pretty deep dive of our brows today and figuring out how do we pick the right stencil. So we're gonna put a little bit of love. Now love is that lovely, glowing, beautiful finish that we can use every single time. So let's get into talking about brows. And we are gonna start with just a little bit of a brow lesson. So I know that we can do our eyebrows with our beautiful stencils, but how do we pick what stencil is right for us? So let's do a little trick and we'll walk through a test. Ooh, a test here. I'm going to use our Click and Play Shadow in Coffee Bean and our brush in 220. And I'm going to do a quick trick here. So from the side of my nose, see how I made a little line there? That's where my eyebrows should come in. Now I'm going to do the same process on the corner. See, I made a little dot there. And then we have our arch here, goes through the pupil. Did that line come up? Here we go. Okay, now it looks a little crazy. So this is how you get that nice arch to your brow, right on the inside of the edge of your nose, outside of your nose, and then the edge through the pupil. So how do you know what is the best arch for you? So how you can do that is you have your stencils here, and I'm going to line my stencil up. And it's a little easier to see, especially if you have not had your eyebrows shaped or you haven't been in a while, because sometimes we aren't able to get to our appointments as much as we'd like to, or we just don't know. Maybe we have been doing our own brows for a while and nobody's really shown us how to get that perfect arch. So I'm going to pick a few options. This one is number 3. Okay. And I'm just kind of wiggling it over and seeing. This one fits my natural brow very well, number 3. Let me go here to number 6. Now, when I get close to that, see where the arch comes? Let me show you. I'm gonna hold it right here. This is my hardest part of doing these lives, is trying to do my eyebrows with the stencil and show you at the same time. I'm like, can I have another hand, please? Okay, so, okay, we're good in the front, but as you can see, this is the highest part. Based on what we did, my highest part should be over here. Can you guys see that? I'm afraid there's too much of a glare. There we go. So the highest part on this particular stencil is with this finger right here. And then this is actually the highest part of my brow. So I would say that this is not my best stencil for me. This is number 6. But let me show you the difference when I hold up number 3. So I'm going to hold up number 3, start right there. The highest point of that stencil is right where my arch is. So that's why I choose number 3. Number 2 hits exactly at the same places. See that? Sometimes you just have it stick to your face. So this is how you want to choose your stencil when you're doing your eyebrows. So this is one of the best ways that you can figure out what stencil is best for you. Now I'm going to tell you this, your eyebrow stencil is not something that changes a lot. You're not going to be like getting a new eyebrow stencil every week. And we also give you so many choices because we understand that everybody's eyebrows are different. So we want you to check those out. And if you mark up before you start trying, because this is much easier to see. If you can't see it really well, go back and make it even stronger. So that when you're holding up those stencils, you can see exactly where they're laying on your face. So this is number 4. So number 4, the arch of number 4 is right here. So obviously that isn't right. So we're hoping that this video walked you through a little bit more about choosing the right stencil for your eyebrows, because it really makes a difference. Eyebrows are not one size fits all. They aren't. You want to make sure that you take that time. It only takes once. So you don't have to worry about like every other day choosing another eyebrow. Once you find your eyebrow vibe, that's probably going to be your eyebrow vibe for a while and maybe even forever. So check that out. Try this out. So remember, we're going to go right next to our nose using that 220 brush. So right next to our nose. And I just picked this up. And then right at that corner, here's my arch. And then right on the end, pick that one. So these few steps are really going to help you choose your stencil. We get that question a lot. Now, once you have your stencil going, you're ready to go. I'm not going to do my brows now because obviously they look a little crazy. Candy also learned to do her eyebrows this way. It's a pretty great standard in the beauty industry. And it helps you because your eyebrows should be working for you, not against you, right? So your eyebrows really need to be working for you, the shape of your face, so that you are not fighting against your eyebrows. Your eyebrows will help and complement your skin and will complement your face shape. They'll complement your eye shape if you have them working for you and not against you. I hope this was super helpful, learning about our stencils, learning where to mark off our face for our eyebrows. And again, I did these a little bit more dramatic now, and it depends on what you're doing. If you can see those subtle marks, then that's great. But don't be afraid to put those marks on there pretty intense, because you're going to have to see them through that stencil. So don't worry about it being too dark. It's just makeup. Guess what? We got to make makeup eraser cloths. And you're going to feel super confident about doing your eyebrows now because you'll feel like you picked the right stencil. So see, it's just makeup, no big deal. All right, everybody, I'll be back at the 11 o'clock hour and we'll see you then.